Hey everybody, it's me, Peter, and today we're talking about Lion.
इधर जा मत मैं कल का काम निपट के आ जाऊंगा गुड्डू
Now before I get started, I want to mention that going into this film, I didn't know a single thing about it. I didn't know what it was about, I didn't know who was in it, I didn't even know what genre it was. This is actually something that I experienced quite a bit. Growing up, I watched a lot of old movies with my dad, and often we would pop a movie in and the only thing that I knew about it was the title. I sometimes didn't even know what year the movie came out, so I had to wait until the movie started to see if it was black and white or in color, to see who was in it, to see if it was a comedy or a drama. Watching movies like this, with that clean of a slate, got me really accustomed to being surprised by film, and also enjoying that feeling you got from being surprised by a film. Watching Lion like this, I think, did help my viewing experience. When you go in with no expectations whatsoever, whether you're analyzing the film or just sitting back and trying to enjoy it, you can really just absorb and take it all in for what it's worth. That being said, for me, Lion took some interesting directions. There were a couple of unexpected turns because I didn't know that the movie was based on a true story. It's a very touching and heartbreaking film with a very emotional ending. Dev Patel gives a great performance in this movie. He might actually be my favorite to win the Oscar, to take the Oscar home this year. Nicole Kidman is up for an Oscar as well, and she also gave a really great performance. I heard somewhere, or I think I read somewhere, that the woman that Nicole Kidman is playing actually suggested that Nicole Kidman play her. She said that she had always imagined Nicole Kidman playing her in a movie. And I think that's interesting, that I feel like a lot of us have that kind of fantasy where we imagine which actor would play us in a movie. For me, personally, I can't imagine anyone who doesn't have a superhero-like physique. But I think that that's so cool that this woman actually got to live out that fantasy. She always thought that Nicole Kidman would be a really good choice to play her in a movie, and then Nicole Kidman actually did play her in a movie. So the movie is very uplifting and inspirational, and anyone who loves film, I would suggest this movie to them. Now I'd like to get into the spoiler review. Little Saru. Oh, poor little Saru. There's a good number of scenes in this movie that are very intense, and you feel kind of stressed out for little Saru. You're very worried about him, which I love. I think that, that was definitely the right choice. For a movie to justify that a character is in a dangerous situation, I think that they need to make the audience really feel like he's in a dangerous situation. There were a couple of scenes that were almost uncomfortable because of how much danger little Saru seemed to be in. The kid who plays Saru actually gives a really great performance, and they put this kid through the ringer. There's a flashback scene later in the film where he's walking home with a watermelon, and then out of nowhere he gets hit by a motorcycle. It's like, no, come on. Leave the kid alone, he's been through enough. But it's great. I think that it's great that they did that. Especially for a movie that's based on a true story, you want to feel like it's actually happening. You want to feel like you're really there. You want to feel like the danger is real. Or maybe you don't want to, but you're supposed to. So there were a couple of parts that really hit me. They were very touching. Little Saru often talked to his big brother Gudu about buying this specific type of food that they were too poor to buy. And adult Saru, now in a first world country with a lot more money and a lot more opportunity, comes across a bowl full of them in somebody's house. His first bite of this food gives him almost kind of an emotional breakdown. He can't help but feel this immense amount of guilt that he had left his family behind in this poverty-stricken town. The film has a lot of interesting things to say about poverty and about identity, and about how big of a difference there really is between a third world country and a first world country. So it brings a lot of these subjects up and has some interesting things to say about them. The ending I thought was really satisfying, and he meets his mother and he finds out that Gudu was hit by a train, and that is why he was left at the train station. That's why Gudu never came back for him. But he gets to reconnect with his mother, and when he first finds the town too, on Google Maps, he discovers that he was pronouncing it incorrectly because he was 5 years old. But that payoff at the end, that he gets to reunite with his birth mother. Then he finds out all these things about his town. He finds out that he's been pronouncing his own name wrong for like 30 years or something. All of that was just such a great payoff. For me, I thought that it was an extremely satisfying ending. In some movies, they have an ending that is so satisfying that you can't help but be a little emotional about it. I would consider Rocky and maybe Whiplash to be among the best. Lion's ending, I wouldn't quite put up with Rocky and Whiplash, but it is definitely up there. It's definitely a really satisfying ending. If you want to be satisfied at the end of the film, then I would definitely suggest Lion. The music was fantastic. I believe the score is up for an Oscar as well, for Best Original Score. So I think that's all I have to say about Lion. I kind of wish I had more to say about it because I liked the movie so much. But what did you think of Lion? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed my review, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.